Welcome to I Shine University, the place to discover your inner sparkle and illuminate your life. Coming to the stage, shining like a diamond, is your host, Javon A. Frazier.
You know how you can tell when there's something amazing stirring or when you're about to embark on something very, very important, something purpose-driven, because there's always a distraction. Always, always, always. So from the time that I told you guys I was going live, it has been one thing after the other. But that's okay. Because, that's what being a mommy is all about. So, this is off. I'm going to share this. After the other. I'm having technical difficulties. Whatever. Maybe it's not meant for me to share. Anyway, so let's just jump right on in. So, I told you guys that tomorrow we are going to start the 21 Days to Shine Challenge. Hi, Donna. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Is this your first time joining Transparency Thursday? If so, let me know where you're from. I think you just joined the I Shine accountability group, which is pretty dope. I'll talk about that later. I'm trying to figure out where I've seen your face before or your profile before. Okay, so as I was saying, what was I saying? I get so distracted. Oh, yes. Tomorrow is going to start the first day of the 21 Days to Shine. Ooh, New Orleans. Okay. The 21 Days to Shine Challenge. And that challenge basically is a journaling experience. It's not really a challenge. I call it a challenge because it's a personal challenge to yourself. It is a way for you to keep yourself accountable, because I'm going to be honest. Psychology teaches us, and if you don't know, I love psychology. Like, that's my zhush. So psychology teaches us that after about 4 days, we tend to not keep up with our habits or our patterns. So that's why it takes 21 days to start a new challenge. It takes 21 days to learn something, to create a new habit. That's what I meant to say, not start a new challenge. It takes 21 days to create a new habit, right? Science tells us, or psychology tells us, that after 4 days, typically we stop, whatever that new habit is. So it's really important to, condition yourself and to make the effort to keep going the 21 days. So that's why I call it a challenge, because if you can make it to the end of the 21 days, the result is, you being your true self. The result is being more clear about your purpose. The result is, just understanding who you are, what you were put here for, what you will and won't tolerate, how to handle your fears. It's a lot of things that we talk about in the 21 Days to Shine Challenge. But tonight specifically, I want to talk about unlearning. Because to me, that is the most important thing that you can do for your growth, for your personal development. I've said it before. I've said it, today actually, that I always pride myself on my passion for learning. I wasn't able to finish college, having children and life happens or whatever, but I'm always learning. I'm always reading new books. I'm always studying new things. Like, in my mind, I already have a psychology degree. I just don't have the paperwork to prove it yet. So learning is my thing, right? But last year, the Lord really showed me that I learned a lot. I had a lot of information, but a lot of it wasn't the right information. That in order for me to truly be who He has called me to be and to walk out what He, predestined me to walk out, there were some things that I had to unlearn first. Because even though I was learning and acquiring new material, new information, the things that I grew up with, the things that I was taught through life, the things that I was taught as a child, some of the, family traditions and some of the things that I knew about church and religion and just various topics. But because of what I already knew, it was impossible or difficult not impossible. It was difficult for me to implement the new information. So in order to allow that new information to actually take effect and change my life, I had to unlearn some things. And I'm going to be honest, it is not easy. I was going to say was not, but I'm still technically unlearning, as we all should be. It's a journey. I tell you that all the time. You never arrive. You're always working on something. So I'm unlearning some things now, actually, as we speak. And it's not easy, because that place of, comfort and where I'm familiar and, the things that I've always known and the things that I've always, gravitated towards. And, that's my safe place. You know what I'm saying? And it's so funny because I was watching, I think it's called Headwinds, a sermon by Sarah Jake Roberts that everyone has been sharing. It's amazing if you haven't seen it. But she was talking about changing your mindset. And it's so funny because what she was talking about is exactly the season that I'm in. Like, you have to change your mind. And in order to change your mind, reprogram your way of thinking, you're going to have to unlearn some of the things that you know. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on and on about, things spiritually that maybe we were taught that isn't right. Even down to the natural things that we were taught that necessarily isn't the best way to do it. So unlearning is something that everyone should partake in some, form or fashion, some part of their life. And so I found this quote for the 21 Days to Shine Challenge. This is one of the tasks that we do. And each day, I find a quote that is associated with the assigned task. So the quote for the unlearning task is: the most useful piece of learning for the uses of life is to unlearn what is untrue. So, how do you move forward in life? Because let's be honest, there are some things that we're doing that Mama did, and Grandma did, and Sally Sue has always done that's not necessarily right. Right? There are some things that, we were taught that is not really beneficial to us. So how do you move forward? You unlearn that which is untrue. Pretty simple, but not really that simple. So, how do you unlearn something? Okay. First of all, for me, I always find scriptures. I'll be extremely transparent right now. My biggest thing that God and I are working on is my anxiety. I've said it 1,000 times. I deal with anxiety. And it seems like over the past maybe 2-3 years, it's been like on 1,000, right? And part of that is because I've been doing a lot of working on myself and reorganizing my life and living by a schedule and doing all these things, right? Trying to really just be this woman that I know God is calling me to be. Like, he showed me who I was and where I am, or say he showed me who I was, and where I was did not look like who I was supposed to be. So I did what I thought I needed to do to become that person and to get to that place. Some of the things were great. Looking at YouTube videos and, reading books, again, because I love learning. I love acquiring new information. But as a result of that, my brain was, and sometimes still is, on overload, right? So my anxiety is because anytime something was out of place, or I was late, or I was off my schedule, it's like my whole world is just distraught, right? So it seems like my anxiety has been on 1,000. One of the things that I've had to unlearn is that it's okay to not always have it together all the time. And I know if you've been following me for quite some time, you'll say, but Javon, you did a video about that 2 years ago with Heavenly Jewels Alliance. You're right, I did. I said it's okay to not be okay. Because it is. right? But I also said it's not okay to stay there. So to me, my anxiety and not having stuff together, after a while, like the first couple of days, it's like, okay, I'm having a day. Oh, okay, stuff isn't organized. Oh, okay, I didn't get this done. I didn't check this off my to-do list. After a while, it was like, oh my gosh, it's not, what's going on? I'm not doing it. Like, oh my gosh, I'm late here. I was supposed to go here. I'm gonna be all the way 100. Me not being live with you guys at 9 o'clock, my house felt it. Because I was like, I told the people I'm going to be live at 9 o'clock, and it's 9:12, and I'm not live yet. So what am I unlearning? That I have to be perfect? That I always have to be on? Okay? That we never have moments of frustration, and that, your moments of frustration do not, determine or dictate who you are as a person. So that's me, my thing. I'm unlearning. So what's replacing that? Sometimes it's okay to go with the flow. That's new for me. Anyone who knows me personally, I have to have details, even with my faith. Like, God can show me something and say, go, and I'll say, okay, God, but where am I going? How am I going? How you want me to go left? Want me to go? Like, I never just I don't have blind faith. I'm not there yet. I'm praying on it. I'm working on it. I'm not there yet. Same thing my natural life. I can't just go with the flow. Like, if I'm not in control, and if I don't have a handle on everything, it's in disarray. So, I say all that to say, unlearning is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. And so I felt the Lord leading me to redo the 21 Days to Shine Challenge. Now, mind you, I just finished it before, maybe like a month before I got married. I did it personally. But I realized, okay, there's some things that you still need to do. There's some work that you still need to do. And I said earlier on my broadcast, Caroline Leaf, if you do not know her, she is a neurologist, and she's also a believer. And so what she does is she gives you the scientific reason behind, why your brain does what it does, how it works, how it functions. And then she shows you scripture to back it up. And so one of the things that she talks about is that, yes, it does take 21 days to form a new habit. And yes, you have to constantly, tell your brain what to do and how to function, what to think, and, all that stuff. And, it's this beautiful illustration where she shows the brain is the brain, but your thoughts look like a tree. And every thought, whether it's positive or negative, are the limbs on that tree. And it's like implanting itself in your brain. And so for every negative thought, or for every negative habit, or for every not so wonderful thing that we do, that's ingrained in us. And so you have to you have to replace that with something positive, replace that with scripture, replace that with something new. You have to unlearn in order to learn. So I invite you to join me starting tomorrow, 21 Days to Shine Challenge. I'm starting it. I invite you to start it with me. The first thing we're going to focus on tomorrow is our mission. What is our mission? We always talk about purpose, but mission, your life's mission is more important than your purpose, because I believe your purpose can change from day to day. I really do. I really know in my heart, because it happened in my life. My purpose has changed from one thing to the next. However, who I am, why I was created, my mission never changes. How I go about that, how I walk out that purpose may shift from time to time. Another thing we talk about affirming yourself. We talk about, creating your space. We talk about relocating, whether that be emotionally, physically. It's an amazing challenge. The challenge is free. All you have to do is opt in. I will post the link, and you receive the free journal. Now, if you want the physical journal, because I did actually write the book, and it is available on my website. If you would like the, physical copy of the journal, you have to purchase that. However, like I said earlier, the what's it called? Digital version is just as great because you just print it out, put it in a notebook, there you go. Or you can also edit the fields and type on it on your computer. I like writing better, so I have the physical journal, but it's totally up to you. So that starts tomorrow. I thank you guys for joining. You know what? Let's get the conversation going. Like, what is something that you have had to unlearn, or that you now realize that you need to unlearn in order to step into the next phase of your life or the next season of your life? I'm very curious because I believe that if I'm dealing with something, there's somebody else that's dealing with the same thing. I believe that if I go through something, it's not just for me, it's for someone else. So there may be something that you realize within yourself, you know what, I need to unlearn that thing. And by you sharing it, either myself or someone reading the feed will be like, you know what, that does make sense. Maybe that is why I haven't gotten that promotion, because I have a hard time getting to work on time. Don't judge me. I'm just kidding. So let's talk about it. Let's share it. I've already, shared mine. One of the things that I have to unlearn is that it's okay to not have everything, be so detailed and perfect and together all the time. Like, it is okay. And, yeah. Love to hear from you guys. Thank you for rocking with me for the last 17 minutes. Actually, really 15, because the first 2 I was just letting you guys come on in. I know I seem a little wacky and all over the place, but guess what? It's the week before school starts. Just came off a honeymoon. Kids are back. There's a whole lot of ruckus going on over here in the Tucker home. So, I'm going to go log off. Watch the Whitney Houston story, because apparently that's on, because that's my husband's watching. Didn't even tell me. Can you believe it? Knowing I'm a Whitney Houston fan? Oh, shame on him. Somebody need to tell him real quick. Thou shalt not watch your wife's favorite show without her. Marriage 101. I'm just kidding. Now I'm being random. But anyway, seriously. If you are interested in joining the 21 Days to Shine Challenge and you're not already on my email list, send me a message. I'm going to post the link. Yeah. I just need your email so we can get going. You're nodding in agreement. Awesome. That makes me feel good. So yeah, Donna, this is resonating with you. That's great. I would love to have you join me on the 21 Days to Shine Challenge. Feel free to share this video. If you or anyone you know have something that you need to unlearn, go ahead, share this video. Tell them to join the challenge. And guess what? The beautiful thing is, even if they miss the first day, let's say they catch this replay tomorrow or the next day or even Sunday or even on day 21. The amazing thing is you can do it at your own pace. So, just opt in, get the digital. Hey, like I said, I've already done this challenge twice this year. This is my 3rd time this year. It's one of those things where you just really keep. And now that I'm thinking about it, it might be better to have the digital anyway. Because that way you can just keep reprinting whenever you need to redo it. I'm random. I know. But that's why I'm me. Because I am myself. I shine unashamed, unapologetic, and unlabeled. I'm just Javon. Some days I'm super serious. Some days I'm super goofy. I'm super random. I'm super all over the place sometimes. I'm just super. So, I'm going to end this now. Because if not, I can keep going forever. Because I just think this challenge is awesome. And not because I created it. First of all, let me tell you how the challenge came about. Let me tell you how the 21 Days to Shine came about so you can understand why I'm so passionate. So, I journal all the time. Like, that is life to me. First of all, I believe writing is so therapeutic. That's how my first book came about. It was just, I was writing for healing for myself. And then when I finished it, God was like, this needs to be out for the world. So the 21 Days of Shine came about because I prayed this prayer, Lord, show me me. And let's just pause there for a second. If you're not ready to really see your flaws, don't pray that prayer. Don't do it. Because before I prayed that prayer, I thought, let's have a little bit of things. Let's need a little attitude adjustment. Yeah. When the Lord turned that mirror on me, it was like, oh, you got to work on this. Oh, you got to work on this. Oh, you got to stop saying you're not a people person. Oh, you got to stop saying you have walls. Hence, he brought my husband who tore them down. I love you, baby. But so I did come up with that challenge right before, or was it right when I started dating my husband? I don't know. But somewhere around that time, I think it was the beginning of me dating my husband, is when I prayed that prayer, because he was such an amazing person. I couldn't understand why I didn't want to be with him. So, yep, that's what it was. I don't know if I've ever told him the story, but now he knows. So that's how the 21 Days of Shine Challenge came about, because I started praying that prayer, Lord, show me me. Like, what is it? Like, what's the problem? What problem is? So every day he gave me a scripture, or, I would see a post or a meme on social media, or something would just drop in my spirit and would be like, yep, that's you. Yep, you got to work on that. Yep. Now, granted, it was a longer process than 21 days, but as I went back and started reading some of my, entries to my journal, and started looking back over some of my posts and some of my moments of transparency, I realized, like, this was kind of a thing. There was a theme going, and, other people needed it. So I started just sharing moments of transparency. I don't know if you, followed me back in 2015. Yep, 2016. But I would share moments of transparency, and it would be a new topic. And I saw other people's responses, and I saw, that I wasn't the only person who dealt with these certain things. And so that became the 21 Days of Shine experience. And so I'm so passionate about it because, one, like, when you really begin to work on you, that is like the best investment, the best project, the best DIY. I think it's not really a DIY if you allow the Lord to do it too. But that's like the best thing ever. I don't know, self-improvement is it's life. Like, I feel like people should always be growing, you should always be changing, you should always be, improving and learning something. And that's why, to me, I don't think relationships should ever get stale, because if two people are always growing, and those same two people are like trying to learn the other person, and it's fun. It's like, okay, what are we going to experience today? What are we going to learn about ourselves today? So this challenge is life to me. It's just like, I don't know. You're gonna become addicted. I'm gonna be honest. Once you see the results of, personal development and reflection and journaling, it's just gonna become a habit, and you're gonna be like, Javon, what's the next thing? And I'm gonna say, all right, here you go. Okay, I'm done. Seriously, I've been rambling for 25 minutes. So, good night, guys. I love you all. I will see you tomorrow on the 21 Days of Shine Challenge. It's not too late to join. Send me your email, or go over to my website, JavonAFrazier.com. Let me know, hey, I want to join the challenge. And I'll make sure you get the journal before we start, or whenever you opt in. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening. For more information about Javon A. Frazier and how she can help you discover your inner sparkle, visit Javon online at Javon A. Frazier.